Welcome to the Churches of Barnsley series. Today we're visiting the All Saints Church, which serves the community of Darton.
Darton, which is just on the border of West Yorkshire, had a population of 21,000 in the 2011 census. Now, no one can really agree on the origin of the name Darton. Some argue it means town on the Darn, others argue it means enclosure or settlement of deer. Nevertheless, in the Domesday Book of 1086, there was a hamlet called Darton in the wapentake of Staincross.
A wapentake is a Scandinavian word meaning the taking of weapons, and was a subdivision of shires in England by hundreds.
Darton has been home to many famous people, such as Margaret Suyave OBE, the England and GB's women's hockey captain. Then there's also a lot of heritage around here too, such as Berthwaite Hall. However, we're here today to visit one of the most important and one of the most interesting, All Saints Church.
This Grade 1 listed church is a beautiful and striking landmark in Darton, and has played a huge part in the local community for 500 years. It is an Anglican church under the Diocese of Leeds.
A diocese is a district under the pastoral care of a bishop. It comes from the Latin word for district under a governor, which in turn originated from ancient Greek and meant internal administrator. All Saints in Darton is one of the most complete late perpendicular churches in South Yorkshire, with perpendicular being a style of Gothic architecture that existed in Britain from the 1300s to the 1600s, and gets its name from the horizontal and vertical lines of the tracery.
There has been a church on this site since the 1100s, but it was believed that this was damaged in the 1400s by a fire, although they may have actually just rebuilt it to accommodate the growing population. The rebuilding was undertaken by Thomas Tykel of Monk Bretton Priory, and the monks there too. This rebuilt church dates back to 1517.
Some of the founding members of the church as it stands today were from the de Lacy family. The de Lacy family were chief lords of the honour of Pontefract. In fact, the Norman church was founded by a certain John de Lacy. Their family then gave it to the king, and it stayed in royal possession until 1484, when Richard III gave it over to Monk Bretton Priory. It then exchanged hands multiple times, until finally it ended up in the possession of the Bishop of Wakefield in 1959.
David Hunter was the first vicar of this church. This church has been here for centuries, serving the local community, and was pivotal as a centre of worship when Darton used to be a much larger parish.
There's plenty of heritage at churches, all with their own individual stories and histories. They've played huge parts in the communities, not just in the centuries gone, but today as well, where they host events that bring people together. Plus, they also play big parts in our personal lives, playing host to events such as weddings, baptisms and funerals. There's a lot of heritage here at Darton, even more at this church, such as this, the Darton War Memorial. This is dedicated to the men who died from Darton serving in the First and Second World War. It just goes to show that churches are not just for the people now, but for people who have been and people yet to come. Plus, it just goes to show that churches are not for a select few people, but they're here for everyone.